And people go into disciplines in the nursing fraternity where they want to go, or where they'll do well. But it always takes thinking outside the box. But if you don't shake a system, the system won't change.
Now, of course, you're fortunate now because while you are the MP for Barataria, Juan,
right,
you don't really have a portfolio. You're a deputy speaker, but that was because you chose to maintain
your practice. I chose to maintain my practice.
But you still have some say within the government. You can talk to people and get things done.
Yes.
Can't you?
So now, there's a couple of things I'm going to be raising in Parliament as the deputy speaker. As a member of Parliament, you could ask certain questions of the ministers, and I could do that. As a deputy speaker, I could do that. Normally, it's the opposition who asks questions, but that is what has been doing how it has been done before. But any member of Parliament could ask questions. So sometimes we have to ask questions in such a manner to expose those things I've just talked about, the rentals of who has been getting those massive $1 million rentals.
So you're asking questions not to embarrass the minister, but to get...
No.
They may not want to volunteer that information, but you can get that information out.
They will volunteer the information, but it'll be positive questions to show what was happening in the last 8 years. Who was getting... Okay, today on the papers you saw that Anna Ramlagan brought out the $1 billion
cost
overruns on one set of people, construction company. If he wasn't there, that would never have come to light. So what I'm saying is that the only way we could change a system and make a system more transparent is to deal with it.
But then you know this country well. We're in the middle of a local government election campaign now.
Yeah.
People will look at what the Attorney General said and said, well, that's just campaigning. But there's no way of vouching for those figures. They were said under parliamentary privilege. How do we know that's true?
But he says he's going to put it out on the open air.
And there'll still be those who doubt and just say, well... The
only way somebody will doubt is maybe you want to be part of, to be exposed. You don't want that exposed. But I can tell you that nobody has argued that the building is $41 million. The building that cost about $5 to $8 million is now $41 million. The other one is about $800,000 a month. Now,
well, that's easy to prove. There'll be receipts, I assume.
Yeah, but that was never made public before until we came into the office. So I'm quite certain there are a lot more things there that need to be brought out.
Now, I want to get to local government for your area very shortly. But I want to ask you in general, looking back at the last 8 years, as a health professional and a well-respected one, do you think there has been any improvement in our health system over the last 8 years?
Have there been improvement?
Is the quality of care better now than it was 8 years ago?
I would say 8 years ago when I was training, I was in the hospitals. I have the horror stories that I'm getting now in Port of Spain General Hospital. Port of Spain General Hospital of certain nepotism and behavior patterns. It is not good. It is not good for the last 5 years, 6 years. People have attributed to a certain method of approach. And what we have seen, a lot of the consultants have left that institution, walked out the institution, local consultants, because attitudes.
Well, they've been run out, they've told me, actually.
Well, I don't want to use that,
well, they've actually been in the program, some of them, and said we've been run out, yeah.
And foreigners have been given the positions, and I know for a fact that in the urology department, the person who is in charge there has not obtained a urological degree. And just today I saw somebody who went to the Port of Spain General Hospital, and they were told that they would have to get a kidney transplant. So the person was frightened, came to see me as a second opinion. And when I looked at the results, what they said that the left kidney was 45% and the right kidney was 55% of flow in a nuclear scan. And because of that, they were told they had to get a kidney transplant. But if you add 55 and 45, you get 100%. And kidneys are split function. So the person obviously didn't know what they were doing. So this is what we have. Other than that, we've had a lot more CT scans.
Is that incompetence, or is that just not knowing any better?
I think that is incompetence bordering on negligence. And I think that is
because that person could have gone in for surgery and could have lost his life or her life.
No? Or unnecessary kidney transplant. What I'm saying is that the health system in certain aspects has had a lot of things done to it. I know when Rahel was there, he was marrying the private and public sector. But a lot of cardiac surgery, let's say cardiac surgery, is being done by the private sector more than the public sector. People have contracts in the private sector more, and they also own part of Mount Hope doing it. I understand the radiology part of it. Like recently, I was told that a child wanted some vascular surgery done, and they didn't have a vascular surgeon to do it. And for some strange reason, it was a lot of these cases are being sent directly to a specific nursing home in the East. And people are questioning it. Why is it this no one nursing home? All the CT scans go to it. All the overflow go to it. People are asking, why is the CT scan in Mount Hope not functioning? I've tried to do an investigation. I was told that somebody is sabotaging the CT scan in Mount Hope, which I'm trying to find out who really, if this is true.
Is it still not functioning?
It hasn't been functioning to any great extent.
How can we have the premier institution of this country not have a functioning cabinet?
No, I think basically people are being paid in that institution to make sure it's sabotaged, and then the patients are then directed to specific nursing homes. It's a, like you said to me, me and Julian Lucky tend to talk our mind. I'm talking my mind there. Because no way a new CT scan can be under not functioning for so long, all the time.
Probably still under warranty for that matter. Yeah.
In fact, what I've also heard, certain people are going on retirement and they're hoping to take over the running of the radiology center at a very large cost. And that is a thing that needs to be investigated in Mount Hope, because for some reason the scans in Mount Hope are being read, and for this has been alleged, people are taking over $100,000 a month to read scans. So the health system needs a serious overhaul. I'm investigating it to see if there's any way I could help the Minister of Health do it.
I just find it kind of more than slightly horrifying.
So when you ask me a question.
Yeah, and you give me the surprising answers that I wasn't expecting to hear.
Right. Is it better now? You judge.
Well, then you're saying
people going to
it's disease
priority
then,
care,
fundamentally.
People going to priority care, and they wait long hours. There's no. This has been done in the last 8 years, and this is nothing new. Not now, it's nothing new. We're trying to fix the system. We've only been there for 7 weeks, 8 weeks? It's a tall order.
And it seems the system itself isn't very good at investigating things either. When things happen with children, for example, over the past little while, we hear an investigation's been launched and then things sort of fade away into the distance.
In fact, I was, when I was as minister, I had put in the complaint section. I put on a complaint system, and I've been always calling for, in fact, I was on my way to produce something called an audit system, that any mortality, any person got any complications or deaths in any institution, it should be reported to a central body, ministerial body, not a witch hunt, and they will get the notes and investigate by an independent practitioner whether things were done correctly. If things were not done correctly, and it's not bordering on negligence, it was just not done correctly as per international standards, then the persons responsible will be brought before peers or whoever it is and said, these things were done on this patient that is not properly. What do you have to say, and why don't? It's what they call an audit system. We went through it in the UK basically every 3 months. In every 3 months, our area of expertise had to be shut off for that couple hours, and all our complications and all our deaths had to be reported towards everybody in the department, and they would say, okay, I would have done this better.